Welcome to New Earth Modalities with the Ascended Masters. I'm your host, Danielle Rama Hoffman, together with my guides, Toph, the Magdalens, the Council of Light, and the Ascended Masters. So delighted and grateful and honored that you have chosen to be here with us. And I am overjoyed to be joined today by Ascended Master lineage member Sophie Kryst. Welcome, Sophia.
Welcome everybody, and thank you to invite me to this beautiful session here with you, the guides and the Council of Light. Thank you very much, and welcome everybody.
You're welcome. My pleasure. So today we're going to dive into shifting to the golden age timeline of self-liberation and full realization, and the new template of the divine human, the Christ code. So it's going to be amazing. And I'm just going to pause here for a moment and bring in the council, the team, and invite you each to connect to your heart and the new earth energy modality. Hello, dear ones. This is Toth, the Elohim, the Magdalens, past, present, and future, the path of the Venus light, beings of light, and many beings of light and love moving more into the forefront of this divine transmission. So let's begin with diving into your new earth modality, which has to do with this new human design, this new divine template or blueprint, what you call the Christ code. And so would you share a little bit about the evolution in consciousness to the golden age and how it is really that time of self-liberation and full realization?
Yes, of course. So, one of the things that I really like to explain first is that every particle in life that is created from source, it has a template encoded within it. It has an encryption, and this encryption is called Christ code. This Christ code holds within itself eternal life, the eternal life of creation. Then this code, it creates when all these codes are together, hold the crystalline grid, and it creates a morphogenetic field of creation filled with this eternal light that holds everything. So once all that is created from this particle, this energetic field, morphogenetic field, it holds the same principle of eternal light. When this eternal light is fed within each creation from this morphogenetic field, then you keep feeling sustained with this eternal light. There's no end, there's no death and rebirth. There's always a regeneration and always a sustaining life. So since now we've been encoded in a template, in a blueprint in which this code wasn't there in the full spectrum of the code. So what happened is that over time, this got losing its connection to source, And then this created like the fall of humanity, in which we keep going to the circle of death and rebirth, going to the circle of cause and effect, and the circle of aging. So once we change this template, we are able to create a new template for humanity, in which we connect again all DNA, all RNA with this new information to connect with source constantly, in which we feed from that place and then give this information to the cells in order for the cells to keep regenerating eternally, because this is what we are feeding from source, all that creates everything all the time. And then we are able to finish this cycle of death and rebirth and move to the next age, the golden age, in which we are eternally sustained. And this is the shift in the new consciousness of the golden age. So the ascended being that really has this connection to its original divine design, the divine human, or the ascended human that is liberated from all this separation, the fall, the dream, the forgetfulness of its own divinity within.
Mhm. Thank you. And so, as the energy, because this is not only a conversation, it's a multidimensional living transmission of energy from ascended masters in light and ascended masters in form to you who also are a part of this new earth and this golden age. And so we're inviting you to become aware of not only the words that are spoken, yet also the energies of this sacred container, that as we are here together, you've entered into a vibrational living library of this new earth modality of the Christ code. And so you may have a sense of not only your body, your mind, your emotions, yet also your multidimensional self, your divine self, your energy self. And so as we're speaking about from one paradigm to another paradigm, it can be helpful to talk just a little bit about the old paradigm and how the Christ Code really is a paradigm shift to ground this also a little bit more into how it may have shown up in the old paradigm. So you're talking about the death and rebirth illusion lie, that's a paradigm shift right away, that death and birth are an illusion to an eternal being, and then cause and effect. So can you share a little bit more about some of the common ways that those old paradigm death and rebirth cycles and then cause and effect would distort or show up in somebody's life? So it may be that when you create something, then you would destroy it, for example. So what are some examples of how that may have showed up in the old paradigm?
Well, actually, our cells have the capacity to self-generate itself. So when you have a flu, the body itself, it heals itself. You don't need to do anything else but waiting for the right time. Or when you cut your skin or you broke your leg, all you have to do is wait for the cells to regenerate itself, so the body already knows how to do that. Yet we have a belief system that is, we have to age, we have to go to an end, and then we program ourselves to do that. We program ourselves to feel that it is normal to be older and then feel bad until it comes to an end. So it's about shifting this belief system. Yet this shift in belief system, it means to create an expansion in your consciousness, because all these codes are held in our DNA. Our DNA, we have 12 strands in our DNA, and usually in the most common people, there's only two strands activated. So there's the rest is dormant DNA. Within this DNA, this dormant DNA, it holds the divine human blueprint. It holds the codes to activate all this information that allows us to live from a multi-dimensional space of consciousness, completely aware of our divinity, of our connection to the divine, and living from that state. In the old paradigm, we've been living for a long time in a patriarchal society in which the divine feminine was lost or kept separate apart. So what happened is that divine love wasn't present. That's why for thousands of years we've been living with wars, we've been living with trying to get from others, because we didn't remember that we have access to the full expression of abundance, full expression of light, full expression of life. Everything was given to us, yet we didn't remember that. That's why we needed to get out from other people. And this was because love wasn't there. With the shift in the new timeline, in the golden age reality, love comes back. The divine mother comes back, and it creates the sacred unity, the sacred trinity between power, love, and wisdom, creating the totality of union of divine, the divine intelligence itself. And when divine love comes back and we come back to its remembering of that, then we start to understand everything is within us. We start to understand from that place of love that everything is already here. We start to connect with the divinity within, with the divine intelligence within, which is already everywhere, all the time, with in everybody, in every expression, in every particle, there's God within. And then we start to shift our consciousness, activating the DNA. And the more that we activate the DNA, the more that we expand our consciousness, we are able to activate different dimensions of the being, until we are able to finally have this capacity, this understanding of the multi-dimensional self already ascended, that is connected to its own divinity within, and starts to understand reality from a new perspective, out of the self, out of the ego mind, transcending the ego and going beyond that, connecting to the unity consciousness field. And from that place, everything is given to you constantly. So this is the shift from the old paradigm into the new paradigm of the golden age reality.
Thank you. And there's some light language that's coming forward here. So we'll just take a moment to bring through this light language and inviting you to connect to the languages that are are related to your unique DNA, your origin, so that there's not only words as a way of really amplifying the field of the golden age, yet also the original languages. And so we're transmitting this light language in the silence and also out loud. And Sophia Kryst, if there's any light language that comes to you, feel free to bring some forward. And each of you, as you are tuning in, we invite you also to share some light language, for this will assist in the pivot from deterioration and aging to regeneration and restoration. And that was just a little exclamation point on that. So ina shtiwa stoyakaya ti kamian ko mahania kayashti stia koshtiwa stina komian kantiwa ni stai oshtiwa katiwa komian kashti stia. Self-liberation, ina hanyang kashtiwakaya, points to the awareness that you hold the keys of anywhere that you may have been in shackles. Yashtaya komyastai, ina niyashtaya kaya, the sahu, the fully realized Egyptian body, ina hanaman koshti, recognizes, that's what's being shared here, is that it is already fully realized. There is already the aspect of you that is on your highest timeline, that is the ascended human, inashtiwa kaishti katia, inahanama ankoshti. And at the same time, there requires energy and momentum in order to interrupt the patterns of the old stories that have thousands of years of being repeated. Ishtantia amahania nushtiwa kaisti kantia ashtiwa stihi kanti stayashti wayakayashti wakaya. And we're curious if there's any light language that you would bring forward, and if not, that's beautiful as well, about the spelling of Kryst and the connection between Christ and this trilogy of love, power, and wisdom, and Christ as in Christ.
Hayantia Naya Nia Hantataya Nia Hiantai, the Christ code Hayana Nia Hiantaya Hatia Hayanana is the Christ, the code of connection to source. Hayana Nia Hiantaya Nia Naya, the very womb of creation. Hiantaya Nia Hayantiataya Hantataya Nia. The waters, the primordial waters, what everything is created from. Hayananian Taya Hiantayania Hatayana Hayantia Tayania Hantatayaniana Hayanianaya, which is love. Everything was created from love, from love. Everything will return to love. Love sustains the whole universe, the whole creation, and this comes to the divine order. Everything is sustained by this divine love. Love is in self, it's inherent in all being. This is the Christ code Hantia Naya Hiantaya Hayania Naya Nia Hantataya Niana. Love is the self-liberated being. Once we are able to connect to this, liberate the cells from what is not love, we are able to realize the self, free the self from all limitation. Hayantia Naya Hiantaya Tia Hantatayana. Hianayania hantatayania hianta yanana. Time, it's also creating bounds, creating limitation. And once we transcend time, we step into the multi-dimensional space. In the multi-dimensional space, there's no limitation of time, there's no limitation of space, there's only the now moment here and now. Hayantia naya hian tataya ni ananna. And in the now moment, everything is available to us. All potentials are available to us in every moment. We just need to shift our consciousness to the level that we want to create in our reality. Everything is available to us always. And the more that we shift our consciousness to that conception, that we can shift the reality and live from that place. And we can experience this blissful state of self-realized being when every particle of our cells feel the divinity, feel this love, and then you understand love is within you. Every cell vibrates in love. It's the expression of love itself. And then the expression of this love itself, it permeates everything, it touches everything, it magnetizes everything, it changes the whole spectrum of light, because love is the highest vibration, and it's a magnetic energy that attracts everything to you, and you feel the self expression, the self-realization, once you understand that all that you are looking for outside of you is really inside of you. You are all that you're looking for outside of you. And then once you found this, you feel the realization, the full realization of the self. Hantaya niyananna, hiyantaya niyananna.
Ishanya Stavastiwankantai Kia Umi Kasti Ushtisti Kia Mahantivastai Kumya Kia Shti Stivakanya Stivakaya. We are acknowledging your choice to be here with us in this now moment, that there has been an aspect of your knowingness that has brought you to this new earth modality, ina miyashtumia stia kaya, that you are a vibrational recognizer, that you have recognized that there is something here for you that is actually an emanation of what resides within you. And so as we are speaking about this golden age and the Christ code and the DNA, there's an invitation to recognize that in the cells, there is a connection to the inner sanctuary of source. There is a connection to the absolute oneness or unity with source. And that part of the process, although it can happen fairly quickly in an accelerated way, is that the carbon in the matter of the physical plane body begins to become more crystalline. And that is also another reason why this Christ energy is coming forward in this new spelling from our perspective. And so is there anything that you would add about the alchemical? You speak about the spiritual gold print rather than blueprint, the alchemical spiral, ascension spiral that happens with the thoughts and the body and the emotions as this full union with love is restored.
then the alchemical process within the body starts to shift. Once you start to upgrade all these frequencies, shifting the DNA and starting to activate this DNA, the spiritual DNA, then your everything in your body, the chemistries of your body start to shift. The cells shift itself. The communication that the organs receive, it shifts itself, and even your blood start to create more. It start to have gold energy within. And this gold energy changes the whole biochemistry of the person, of the human. And then this being is when it starts to create the self-liberation of all densities. Yet this takes a process. So the blueprint is placing the new information for the being to start to shift this transition to the golden age, to this new design, or not the new design, the original design in which human was intended to be here on earth. It was intended to be the divine human, the keeper of earth. And then it came the forgetfulness of this original design, and now we are coming back to this design in order for the being to create this shift, to create the ascension process, for them to first do the ascension, and the second step after that is do the alchemical process of the immortality. So there's like different stages, yet to setting up first the blueprint, it gives the information to the cells to start to repatterning every cellular structure, every molecule, to shift the way that it's being created, the neuronal pathways that are being connected to operate in a certain way starts to shift. The cells start to shift the information, the encryption, and then this allows that the ascension process accelerates faster and faster. And that's a big liberation, first, of all energies, of all densities, and there's like an acceleration in this path of ascension.
And we have a sense of going a little bit deeper into kind of the before and after. Like if before was cause and effect, and an example of this illusion lie is that you need to do XYZ in order to have PDQ effect. So you need to take a bunch of action in order to have greater health, or you need to be in some kind of a do to get mode. You have to do this in order to get that. And this cause and effect of duality or separation consciousness, what often happens from that is that any action that's taken is often taken from a separation node or frequency or octave, that something is missing. And so in order to fulfill what is perceived as missing, then there needs to be a certain action or a certain movement into the world. And if you've been hanging with us for any length of time, you know we are fans of inspired action, because you have chosen to incarnate to be on the physical plane, to be taking action from that perspective, yet not from anything that's missing. What Sophia is sharing here around the connection to the wholeness being there, the origin, the connection with source, and then that it's not repopulating a lack thing. And that's what often happens, what we often see with those that we partner with, that those clients, that there is this actualization or manifestation that happens from a place of wholeness, from a place of unity. And so Is there more that you could illuminate about kind of this shift from cause and effect? And you may have a more extended definition of what we're talking about in terms of cause and effect to this eternal spiral that you speak about, this eternal ascension spiral. And you mentioned it in the beginning. We want to go deeper into it.
In terms of the cause and effect that you were talking about, yet yes, you're right. When we are looking for to do something, looking, trying to get something, we are vibrating from a space of scarcity already. So we are trying to look for something outside of us because we feel we don't have it. And then we create more of that because we set all the energy and the intention from a place of we don't have that, and we create more scarcity in our life. And then we feel we have to strive, we have to fight for something, we have to do more because we don't have it. So our vibrational field is creating this attraction of I don't have it, and then I create more of that. When we shift into that place of connection with in which we are already fulfilled, in which we are already connected to the infinite flow of abundance, the infinite flow of source itself, of life, then we understand we already have everything and we give everything. And the very moment that we give, we become the source of abundance. Then you attract abundance to you because you already are that. So you attract what you are, the vibration that you are. So the more that you understand you are everything and you don't try to get something out of it, instead you just give what you are. The more that you give, the more that you receive. So this is the shift from the old version to the new one, the golden age reality, in which you already are everything. And the more that you understand and vibrate and resonate in this frequency that you are, and you just give for the pleasure to give because you are this source within you giving constantly because this is what you are, and then everything comes back to you exactly the way that you put out into the world your energy. So your frequency is your currency, is your energy, is what comes back to you. And this is this shift. And the Krystic spiral, what it does, it connects to source in it. So the Krystic spiral, it already has a code, and the code it always it connects from the 0 point, the void source, and from that point it goes back. So it starts creating the spiral, counting from 0, 1, 1, 2, and then it goes back to source again, and then it counts 0, 1, 1, 2, it is 4, and then goes back to source again. So every time it feeds from the source, so you do not lose anything the more that you goes on, because you always go back to source and you always get filled with this infinite field of possibilities within you, the stream of light that comes from source. So this is the difference, because you always are connected to this infinite flow that comes through you. You are a channel of this infinite flow going through you to the world and from the world to you, because we are all one and connected. And the more that you shift this perception from just me, the I, and we shift the perception to that we all have this particle within us, every cell of us, every cell of each being has the same vibration of God. We understand we are all the same. And then we start to comprehend that our perspective of the reality in a wider way. We are able to see things from a new perspective. We are not attached to our emotions, to our mind. We are able to shift our comprehension and our understanding. And from that place, we live from more a neutral space. We live from space of love instead of being attached to our emotion, our mind, and all triggers that comes from the wounds, and all triggers that comes from these all information that is ingrained in ourselves from thousands and thousands of years living that way. So it takes a while to just shift all these layers and layers and layers to create this ascension and to live the new reality. Yet there's a moment in which when you give the new information, then the cell starts to shift and starts to create the new information, receive the new information, and start to move on from the new information. That very moment you accelerate the path. And this is the theme, to be able to shift into this new timeline reality, the golden age, in which everybody's already, it's already fulfilled, it's already liberated, it's already, they already have what came here to do. It's just stepping into this new reality and creating this golden age for everybody, living from that space, that place of love and connection. And well, this is the shift that we've been waiting for so long, and then we've been craving for so long, and it's already here.
Yes, thank you. And as we speak about the one of the original Akashic records of all that there is exists in each and every now moment, that this is another way of expressing what it is that you're sharing, and everything, all that there is exists in each and every now moment. So bliss exists in every moment, abundance exists in every moment, community exists in each and every moment, radiant health exists in each and every moment. A surplus or opulence of abundance exists in each and every now moment. And so as we're tuning in here, some of the vibrational questions that we're hearing are, when you talk about how everything exists within, and that the source within, it's all within, how does that play out? Like if someone is choosing to actualize the love of their life, or they're choosing to actualize financial abundance, or their home, uh, is it, and we know there's as above, so below, as within, so without, is it that they are money already, and that is what brings them into vibrational proximity, what we speak about in the Tablets of Light book, to money outside of them? Like, we're hearing some questions about that in terms of not only energies and frequencies, yet physical plane expressions of energies and frequencies. So was that a clear enough direction or question to explore?
So when you want to attract something into your life, you need to be the vibrational proximity to that thing. If you want to attract love, you first need to be love. Yet, be love means that you are not looking for someone to fulfill your triggers or your wounds, yet to become that love that you're looking for outside of you, and then you attract the same thing that you vibrate, and then you find this soulmate that you're looking for, because first you did this transitioning into becoming love, not waiting for someone to give you what you don't have. Because when you don't have and you're trying to look for something outside of you, you find that the same vibrational proximity in which the other person doesn't have, and then we both trigger to each other. And the same with abundance. If you want to attract abundance, you have to change your belief system and start to understand you already are abundance. Then you connect from space synchronicities into your life that allows the stream of abundance to come to you. Yet this means to shift first this transition into becoming what you are looking for. Everything is within you, yet sometimes it can be triggering for the mind, this sentence, because if I'm looking for something, why don't I get something if it's within me? Yet, because you don't believe it, you don't resonate with it, you don't believe this is possible. And then what you do is that you're looking for it outside, you don't believe, and then you feel in your belief, in your emotions, that you don't have it and you need it, and you feel drained. Then the theme again is to come back to love, is to come back to this awareness that you are already everything. And when you shift this vibration and you believe this is true, then you will start to attract everything. Yet first you need to upgrade within you, and this is the real work for everybody, of every of us. We have to do this work, inner work, to become what we want to be, what we want to create in our reality. This is when the more that you understand that, the more you vibrate that, the more that you know that this is true, the more instant manifestation that you get into your life. But instant manifestation comes from a place in which your vibration comes from a place of love. When there's no love, there's a delay in time to really manifest what you want. And then it takes a while, and what you manifest is, of course, because you're not vibrating in love, you're vibrating in lack. What you receive is more lack. So I hope I answered your question.
Yes, yes, thank you. And you have a beautiful special offer to assist those that are called to do this inner work in a really powerful way. And so this is an activation of what we've been speaking about here, the original divine blueprint of the self-liberated being. And so would you share what is in this activation, what the benefits are, what it contributes to?
Mhm. This is a powerful activation. It takes 1 hour to go through it, and it's a full, completely shift in your bioenergy field. There's a clearing of the mucus of all that, the densities from the bioenergetic field, and there's a clearing of the chakras. There's an activation of the chakras. There's a clearing of the DNA and the RNA. We remove the old template, and I say we because we do it with the Council of Light, with the Elohim Constructors of Form, with Toth and Sashat, all the team, through these sacred architecture tools. And then we remove the old template, we set up the new template, we ignite the Christ code, then we repattern all the cells, and we recalibrate all the cells. So this is the deep work that creates a big shift within. And also it is recorded to do it several times, so it's good to do it along the way several times, to give this information, keep giving this information to the cells. And this first creates a deep liberation and a sense of letting go a lot of old stuff that we don't need anymore. And then it allows you to accelerate your path through this ascension process. And there's a sense of being more in the now present moment. There's a sense of more happiness because you've been letting go a lot of densities that you didn't need anymore. There's this shift in your connection with your inner divinity and your inner intuition. So, like, divine knowing starts to go deeper because then you trust more your inner intuition. So there's a great benefit with this transmission, and there's a lot of things that are shifting and reconnecting the cells, giving the information to the bioenergetic field. So it's a beautiful, beautiful and potent process.
Thank you. So we invite you to pick up this special offer to really be in the inner sanctuary of this recalibrating of your DNA, of your cells, to this new earth modality with the ascended masters, of really accessing that Christ code. And so this is being placed on the altar. We know that you vibrationally recognize that it is yours to pick up or not. And the invitation is really there, that this is a beautiful opportunity to access something that is usually only accessible in a much more in-depth way. And so we would love to speak a little bit about the divine feminine, the divine masculine, and the sacred union, because this is another source of separation in the old paradigm. And so, what would you share about the golden age in relationship to the divine feminine, the divine masculine, and the sacred union?
So as I said before, with being in a patriarchal society for a long time, in which the divine feminine wasn't really there, and before that we were in a time in which the matriarchy was a dominant place. So we, in a certain way, we had these distortions about the feminine and the masculine, which create a distortion within us, because we already held all the information from all lifetimes that we've been living here upon the planet. So the divine masculine, it surrenders to the divine feminine trusts the divine masculine. And when we do not have these energies and frequencies in place within us, or whether we do not trust, whether we do not surrender, whether we do in our lives, in our daily lives. So there's an imbalance here from both energies and frequencies. When you shift into the golden age reality, there's the sacred union of both, because the golden age reality is coming back into unity. This means that there's, first of all, a recalibration of the both frequencies, and finding the balance, recalibrating the all frequencies energies, and then coming into union both, because actually to be united within you, you have to embrace all parts of you and then bringing back in the totality that you are. And this is the golden age reality, that this sacred union from the both energies that are the same, that comes from source. It came from source as a unity. It came into the third dimension as a duality. And then in the golden age, we come back into unity again by first balancing both frequencies within us, and then we can experience this in the outside world once we've been done the work within us, in which we recalibrate both energies. We go into a place of unity, and then we are able to find these new relationships from that place, in which sacred union is created from within, and then you find the sacred union without. So the new earth, the golden age, is shifting into this. Finally find the balance, the beauty, accepting with love each frequency in uniting both of them, and feel the completion, feel fulfilled within, feel already completed within. And then you don't look for in the outside world, you already have everything. Then you attract from that place. And again, this comes from the frequency of love. It's from love that you forgive every situation that you went through during all lifetimes of existence. And then you go into a place of love, and the place of love creates that union between both energies. And then this union creates this self-realization of the self. It's a beautiful transition to go into, and once you feel this transition within yourself, you already feel such a deep love within you. All the cells feel that love. You vibrate love. You are love. And joy comes and bliss comes from feeling these cells vibrating in love. Is that the self-realization comes from feeling this expression of love within each of every particle in your cell. And this is the beautiful transition into the new earth.
Miashtaya kumyang kanti staya kumyashtiva stiashtamya nyankashti stihikashti. And as the energies are winding down for this masterclass, we have a sense that this has been a very full transmission. Is there anything that you would add, any light language or sound or words that you would leave us with as we're completing?
Just return into love. This is the path of the self-liberation, and this is the more that we choose love in every situation, the more we choose love every time we feel we are challenged for something. Every time we choose love, we go faster in our process of liberation of the self. So choose love in every situation.
Thank you. And we are extending great love and appreciation to you, Sophia, and to each of you for your contribution to the evolution in consciousness. All is light and love, and we are all.
Thank you very much to be able to have this opportunity to be here to share with all of you, to be partnering and co-creating with Danielle and the team. It's been a pleasure. I'm so grateful, and I hope to see you again. So thank you very much.
Our pleasure.
This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Visit newearth1.com.